Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So apparently the rapture's coming soon, so hope it comes before I have to pay my mortgage this month. Anyway, there, it's a crazy world, isn't it? It's like, feels like I don't know, it just feels weird. It's never felt the same since COVID, has it? I think we're all longing for some peace and the end to all this sort of bickering and hatred and so much. True crime is almost like an escape from the politics of the world at the moment, isn't it? Anyway, we're not talking about politics in this video, but I will be talking about them in the members live on Thursday. I'm going to be talking about the Charlie Kirk memorial and also about, Trumpy Trump, how he's upsetting everybody and stuff, but we'll be doing that in the members. In this video, we're going to talk about Celeste Rivas. I think this is one of the... this is going to turn out, when this story unravels, it's already horrible, but I think it's going to turn out to be one of the saddest stories of, Celeste Rivas, a young girl, a troubled teen, they're describing her as. I don't know if she was a troubled teen or not. Her family know that. And she definitely got involved with this singer, this David. That's how it's spelt in a ridiculous way, but that's what his name is. Now he's very famous. I've been having a little look at him. He's famous on TikTok anyway, but he was on the brink of becoming very, very, very famous. He had this tour going. He had a European tour lined up. Everything going for him, and what has happened, that it appears that he's become involved. Well, he was definitely involved with Celeste. He was having an inappropriate relationship with her because she's only 13 when she went missing. I mean, she looks older, a lot of 13-year-olds do these days, but she wasn't. She was 13 and he knew her age. And he's a grown man in his 20s. So, it was completely inappropriate, the relationship they were having. And then she disappeared. Celeste disappeared. It's very unclear exactly when she disappeared. But we know, what we do know is she is deceased, bless her. She was found in what they call the frunk, in other words, the front bonnet of a Tesla. That had been impounded, the horrible smells were coming from, and in the frunk, as they call it, there was Celeste, and there's talk that she was partially dismembered. Some people think that might have been a natural decomposition. Sometimes the limbs become, don't want to go into great detail, but sometimes when bodies are very decomposed, the limbs can become attached. So maybe she wasn't dismembered as in the sense of cut up. But anyway, she was dead. That's for a fact. And this Tesla was registered to this singer, David. So that's what we're going to talk about. But and there's now speculation, and it is purely speculation, that maybe Celeste was pregnant, that some infant remains have been found. This is like a social media story, but it's reaching mainstream media too. But the police, the law enforcement, have not confirmed any of this. I presume David is in custody. He's now apparently ended the lease on his property that he was renting. And he's cancelled his tour, etc. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. What we're going to just talk about first is the old mushroom murderess, Erin Peterson. I don't think I've even got a picture of her up now because I sent her to hell. We'll have a look at the hell. She went into the hellhole, didn't she? But she's like, she hasn't appealed yet. Seems unlikely. I think it's unlikely she will appeal her sentence, because her sentence actually of life without parole for, I think it was 33 years, it's a very light sentence. So if she appeals it, she might end up with a bigger sentence. So she hasn't appealed yet, as far as I know, and unlikely that she will appeal. But what we're going to talk about is the doctor who sussed her out immediately at the hospital. And he said some inappropriate things, or maybe you think they are appropriate. Personally, I think they were appropriate, but I understand that professional people are not supposed to say things on the lines of what he said, though even if we agree with him. But he's been reprimanded, like officially, and we're going to talk about that first. But first of all, I want to say thank you, of course, to everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate every single one of you that clicks that like button, spends some of your day with me by watching my channel, or subscribes. I really appreciate it, really, literally every one of you. So thank you. And of course, some of you go that bit further. You join you become a member. Every Thursday is our members live, exclusive live. As I say, this week we're going to be talking a little bit about the Charlie Kirk memorial. We might talk a bit about the rapture. And see what is the rapture that everyone's talking about, and are we likely to see it? It sort of wouldn't be a bad thing, really, probably. But anyway, no, we're not ready for the rapture yet. Sorry, that was my dog barking. Also, I want to thank people who buy me a Ko-fi. Those are always very much appreciated. Thank you. Send super stickers. Sends me emails suggesting cases, leave nice messages, any positive way you contribute to my channel. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to say hello to everyone. So hello, lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that not everybody wants to join in the chat, put their head above the parapet, because of course when you join in the chat, I mean, you know, we don't really get many horrible people. Well, if we get any horrible people on this channel, they're soon got rid of. But yeah, it can be a bit scary putting yourself out there and going into the chat. Some people prefer just to watch. So thank you for that. Thank you to Replay Crew. Thank you for watching as well. And yeah, now I'm going to come into the chat and see who is participating in the chat. Happy Wednesday to everybody. I can't believe it's only Wednesday. It feels like Friday already. Hi, Fluffy. Hi, Bluebell. Hi, Annie. You're back in your routine now, Annie, I presume. Exactly, Bluebell. I agree with this. What is, you know, it's crazy. I'll tell you what, the world will always be crazy while this man is president. It's dangerous. Oh, bless Annie. It won't let you. Oh, let me know, because it might be my Ko-fi that's not working. But let me know. Let me know. Should be working. But anyway, so you know what it's like with technology. Hi, Daniel. Happy Wednesday. I think they were true, but maybe inappropriate for TV. Hi, Angel. Sorry, Bluebell. I think I don't understand. I think they were true, but maybe inappropriate for TV. What? Sorry, have I missed something there? What might be true, but inappropriate for TV? Do you mean the rumours about Celeste? Anyway, let me know, because I'm not, I think I might miss that. Anyway, I've got a cup of coffee this morning. I'm on my second coffee. Hi, Mara. Yes, Mara, we can see your comments. Ah, the doctor. Yeah. We can see your comments, Mara. I don't know if you're on the Spanish channel. That might be why they're not showing up. Let me show comments on stage. Yeah, you are definitely showing. Do you know what? Technology is hilarious, isn't it? Just never works properly. Not when you want it to. I was thinking that the other day. I thought there's not one day that I come downstairs and everything's working okay. You know, the internet's working okay. My YouTube channel's okay. I don't know, like notifications on my phone. There's always at least one thing that's not working, or the kettle doesn't work, or do you know? It's like don't know. Maybe it's the rapture. Okay, we're going to start talking about that, about this poor doctor. And I say poor doctor, I mean, you know, I don't think he's sorry about what he said, and he shouldn't be, because he said, well, it turned out it was exactly true as well, what he said. And where are we? Let me find it. You know, he knew straight away. I mean, the hospital. Now, just to remind people, I'm not obviously going to go through the whole story. I'm sure most of you know the story of the mushroom murderess. Invited her ex-husband's relatives round to lunch. Well, she wanted him to come as well. He would have been dead now as well if he would have come round. But she invited 4 of his relatives round for lunch. She served them up a beef Wellington that was laced with poisonous mushrooms. 3 of these poor people died. Don and Gail Patterson, her ex-husband or her estranged husband's parents, and Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson. And Heather's husband, Ian, was the only person to survive. So now, the thing is, of course, the hospital did really well in finding out really quickly that it was death cap mushroom poisoning and not just gastroenteritis or some sort of stomach bug. And, because, of course, Erin Patterson, the mushroom murderess, she'd been at the lunch as well, but she wasn't ill. Funnily enough, that, isn't it? Strangely enough, she wasn't ill. And she had prepared these beef Wellingtons all individually. That's another thing. A beef Wellington is not a dish that's normally prepared individually. It's normally prepared one sort of log of beef covered with the mushroom paste and that, and then the pastry. But Erin decided to prepare individual beef Wellingtons and put them on different colour plates. So luckily, because Ian Wilkinson survived, the surviving witness, he could give testimony to that. She said she didn't put them on different colour plates. But Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor, he said his wife and the other 2 victims were given grey plates, and Erin had a smaller plate and a different colour plate. She said no. Remember, she said everybody else was lying except her, even though she admitted lying about everything else. The most biggest lie, of course, is that she said she told them she had cancer. So let's not forget what she did. She invited these very nice, decent people round for lunch. She served them all up poison and knew they were dead from the minute that they had they were dead people walking from the minute they finished that meal. She sat there with them. She watched them eat every mouthful. She then let them pray for her because she told them she had cancer, which was a lie, complete lie. They all sat there and prayed for her, and inside, as they were praying, when you think about that, as they were praying for Erin, this poison was killing them, had started off killing them, because death cap mushrooms, they kill people slowly. They didn't get properly ill till late. That was around about midday. They didn't get properly ill till late that night. And then they died agonizing deaths. Diarrhea, vomiting, pain, their vital organs closed down. And Ian only survived because they gave him a liver transplant. And luckily for him, he was strong enough to survive with it. Whereas Don was also given a transplant, but he was already too far gone. And Heather and Gail were not well enough to have a transplant. Their liver had just died inside them. You know, this is the reality of what this bitch, sorry, excuse my French, this woman had done. That is the nastiness of what she'd done. And then she set about trying to cover it all up, didn't she? Set about trying to cover it all up. She told lie after lie. She cast aspersions on other people, calling them liars. She tried to blame the Asian supermarket, where it said that she'd bought these mushrooms in an Asian supermarket. She sent the environmental health off on a wild goose chase, trying to chase down where they'd been bought, because of course, you know, there might be more out there that could kill other people. So yeah, absolute twonk. But she's another word that begins with B that you're not supposed to put on you, or C actually. She's a horrible, horrible person. Anyway, what's happened, this doctor, when it came to the trial, I think he testified, Christopher Webster, he did actually testify at the trial. Let's just have it. This was, oh, so yeah, she wasn't ill at all. She tried to pretend she had a little bit of diarrhea. She didn't. And she went to the hospital, and as soon as they mentioned death cap mushrooms to her, she said she had to go, because she had to go and tidy up the crime scene, didn't she? Anyway, so even though she'd been told that she may die as well or need a transplant because she'd eaten the same lunch supposedly, she insisted on going because she had to sort the animals out and sort out her daughter's ballet bag. You know, this, you know, it's just really, the more you think about it, the more ridiculous the whole thing is. And also because her children supposedly had eaten leftovers from the lunch, they told her that her children needed to go to hospital and get checked out, and she was very reluctant to take them. I mean, you'd be hysterical, wouldn't you? You know, your relatives are dying on a meal that you've cooked and your children ate the leftovers from, and she's prevaricating about taking her children to hospital. I mean, the more you think about it, the more obvious it is. Let's just see this video a minute. Yeah, so they're trying to stop her from leaving. And she's like, no, she's going. That's it. She's going. She's got to do her daughter's ballet bag. Come on, I've got to pack my daughter's ballet bag. So in the end, they said to her she'd have to sign a paper. Oh, I've not seen that before. Discharge at own risk. I am leaving. Yeah, she's thinking there. What am I going to do with the plates? You know what? Oh God, got to get rid of the plates. Got to get rid of the food dehydrator that she told police she'd never had. It doesn't look very nice. I suppose it is the leftovers.
I have a concern regarding a patient that presented here earlier but has left the building and is potentially exposed to a fatal toxin from mushroom poisoning. And I've tried several times to get hold of her on her mobile phone. Mushroom poisoning, you said?
So then this doctor, Chris Webster, this is him on the audio, he phoned the police because he was worried about her. But really, I think, looking back now, he knew straight away when she went. So he phoned the police about it because he was so convinced that it was not normal. I mean, he had patients that were dying. And he's trying to put over the urgency to Erin, and she just decides she's going. Ridiculous.
your mobile phone.
Mushroom poisoning, you said?
Yeah, so there were 5 people that ate a meal on Saturday, and 2 of them are in intensive care at Dandenong Hospital. 2 have just been transferred from Leongatha Hospital to Dandenong Hospital, and Erin presented this morning with symptoms of poisoning. While I was attending the other patients, the nurse informed me that she had discharged herself against medical advice.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So I think I might have missed a couple of people coming in there. Just let me say hello. Hi, Admit. Hi, Lily. Oh, I hope you get well soon. Sorry, that's Admit I'm talking to. Hope feel better soon. I think I haven't missed anybody else. If I do miss you coming in, just come and say hello again, because sometimes when I'm talking, I don't notice people coming in. Okay, so yeah, doctor penalised for calling the mushroom murderer a disturbed sociopath. He went a little bit further than that, actually. So an Australian doctor who raised the alarm about Erin Patterson has been sanctioned by the medical regulator over disparaging comments made about the triple murderer. Chris Webster was a key witness in Patterson's trial, at which a jury found her guilty of killing 3 relatives and attempting to kill another with a deadly mushroom lunch in 2023. And after the verdicts, Dr. Webster told the BBC that Patterson, now serving a life sentence, was a heinous individual and called her a disturbed sociopathic nutbag. Now, I mean, even though it's true, of course, that is perhaps, maybe he shouldn't have said that. I don't know. A disturbed sociopathic nutbag. Do you think that's a little bit far for a doctor to go? Even though it is true, of course. And he called her that in an interview with the Herald Sun, which is an Australian newspaper. So the Medical Board of Australia found that his actions were inappropriate and ordered that the general practitioner undergo ethics, privacy and social media training. An investigation was launched when the Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency received a flood of complaints about Dr. Webster's media interviews and use of explicit language. Now, what do you mean a flood of complaints? Who's going to complain about that, really? I mean, really? Because she was sociopathic nutbag. You know, she's murdered 3 people, though maybe then she hadn't been found guilty yet. I don't know. Anyway, Dr. Webster, good for him. Here he is. Dr. Webster, good for you. He told the BBC on Friday he understood and accepted the decision from the regulators, who have not publicly commented on his case, but he listed the conditions on a public register. As far as my comments go, I stand by them, said Dr. Webster, who still works as a GP in Patterson's hometown of Leongatha in regional Victoria. He said that regulators did not find any breach of patient confidentiality, as he was talking about things that had been openly discussed in the murder trial. I was found to be inappropriate in my professionalism, he said, and that has to do with the use of salty language and my use of social media. You know, and I sort of see that. I mean, he's a doctor at the end of the day. I mean, it's different if I come on here and call her a sociopathic nutbag or whatever it was. But I suppose you don't expect a doctor to say that. But, you know, he's a human being and he was right. He was right, of course. Anyway, let me know what you think in comments. Do you think he was... do you think it's not right that he's been... reprimanded, or do you think he should have been reprimanded? So then it goes on to talk about the actual case. Earlier this month, Patterson was sentenced to life with no chance of release for at least 33 years, not long enough, for the murder of her in-laws Don and Gail's sister Heather. She was also found guilty of trying to kill Heather's husband Ian. So Dr. Webster treated the Wilkinsons at a tiny hospital in Leongatha before their mushroom poisoning was identified and they were urgently transferred to a major Melbourne facility. He also saw Patterson, who claimed to have gastro-like symptoms, at the hospital, and he says he knew she was guilty almost immediately. Now, I think, what we have to remember about doctors is they're dealing with people day in, day out. Hi, Paul. They're dealing with people day in, day out, and they get an intuition. People get intuitions, don't they, according to their profession? Doctors have to be intuitive because often, someone will describe their symptoms, but, until blood tests come back or things, they don't know exactly what's wrong with people. They have to use their intuition to gauge what's wrong with people. And so they must hone it over the years. I mean, he's been a doctor for a long time. He's not just a recently qualified doctor. And that was his instinct that he got from her immediately. And he was right in his instinct. I knew, he told the BBC. I thought, okay, yeah, you did it, you heinous individual. You've poisoned them all. Sorry, I'm just laughing at how I like people who talk straight. Do you know what I mean? He's talking straight. Maybe that's not appropriate for a doctor. You'll let me know what you think, but I like people who say it as it is, or at least how they think it is. I have no problem with that. An audio recording of his call to police about her decision to discharge herself from hospital against medical advice was played at the trial. And the investigation concluded that Dr. Webster must do at least 8 hours of training in topics, including professionalism and ethics, professional communication, privacy and confidentiality, and social media. Oh, this social media, it's got a lot to answer for, isn't it? It's got a lot to answer for. It's responsible for everything. He must also be mentioned by another doctor for 5 hours a month. Oh, mentored. I thought it said mentioned. He also must be mentored by another doctor for 5 hours a month for a period of 1 year. He said he called it an onerous condition, which might require him to take 1 day off every week to travel to Melbourne, and could mean he has less time with patients. Ultimately, the community is getting punished as well, and that's disappointing, he said. There's never been any question about my competency and skills as a doctor. It's all about my attitude and presentation. And maybe in this modern world, that kind of thinking might be a bit archaic. Doctors are human beings. And of course, this is true, isn't it? We say it about the police as well. All these professions we expect quite a lot from, don't we? But they are just people. At the end of the day, they're people. There'll be good doctors, bad doctors, there's evil doctors, there's fabulous doctors, there's evil policemen, there's fantastic policemen. Just like there are with teachers or plumbers or electricians, these are people. They're not gods, they're not above anything, and they have human frailties, but they also have the good, nice things about being human. There are nice things about being human. So, it's true. Doctors are human beings, and he said what he thought, didn't he? And he was right as well. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, he was right. I mean, she is a sociopathic nut job or whatever. She's murdered 3 people and nearly another. She sat there and watched them eat what was going to kill them. Probably give him a kiss as they went, or see you soon, knowing that she was never going to see him again. She let them pray for her when she had cancer. So I think she is, you can't argue with his assessment. She's a sociopathic nut job. She's an evil, evil woman. So that's why I think, if he'd said that about someone, there was no evidence to suggest that they were. You know, like you could call someone that's, oh, you know, they're a psycho, or they're this or they're that. And it might just be that you don't like them, or, you know, maybe an experience you had with them, but maybe, you know, they haven't actually murdered anybody. So, but it is true that what he said is true as well, isn't it? But I think it's because he's a doctor. Like if, I don't know, if a window cleaner came out and said that about her, he wouldn't get crossed off the window cleaners list, would he? Or told to do a course, or, you know, we can all go on social media and call Erin sociopathic nut job and not be pulled up about it. But because he's a doctor, they are held to a code of conduct, I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you think. I'm open to whatever anyone thinks. I think it probably shouldn't have said it, you know, in public like that. But then is that like, you know, but it was true what he said. So if it was, as I say, if it wasn't true or there was no evidence for it, I would say definitely shouldn't have said it. But because it was right. But it's his profession, isn't it? Should doctors be above that kind of thing? Not, you know, I suppose it's like a police, a law enforcement person. You wouldn't expect them to go on social media and say someone was a sociopathic nut job either, would you? Even if it was clear that there were. So maybe there are just some professions that shouldn't say things like that. No, people do expect things from you, I think, if you're a certain profession. You know, those of you who know me, you know I'm a Spanish teacher. That's what I've been doing for the last 25 years, really, teaching Spanish. And I always found it's quite difficult, like when you go out on a night out or whatever and you have a few drinks and you, people don't expect teachers to sort of let their hair down, or, you know, they think, oh, you're a teacher, you know, even though I do teach some children, but, you know, I'm not I'm not a teacher at a school for children. I teach adults mostly. But yeah, there is this sort of, you think, oh no, that's my Spanish teacher. And, you know, and there's me, I've had a few vinos and I'm singing on karaoke or whatever. It feels inappropriate somehow. But, so yeah, I used to say to my friends, don't tell anyone I'm a Spanish teacher. Don't tell anyone I'm a teacher. Anyway, he says he has the full support of the local community. I bet he does. And I'd love him as my doctor because he seems a very intuitive man to me. I'm not going anywhere. I just have to go back to school. So he's got to do these things. I mean, they're not that mega, are they? You know, and as I say, it's not been struck off or anything like that. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think he should have received that punishment? Maybe it's good that he receives some sort of punishment. So thank you, Paul, but I wish I was, but I'm not. Sorry, I'm looking through the chat now. I've never had pumpkin coffee. Sorry. So I'm getting distracted by the chat. I shouldn't do that. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Do you think it's right that it got reprimanded? Do you think he should have been reprimanded? You know? Because what they found was it didn't break any confidentiality. Because actually, that's the thing. A doctor's not supposed to talk. You know, you go to the doctor, any condition you have or whatever is confidential, isn't it? And of course, that should be. But his defence was that he only discussed anything that had already been discussed openly anyway in the trial, etc. So, you know, he wasn't breaking patient confidentiality. But anyway, just to let you know, so it's not exactly mega, his punishment, is it? It's just, I think personally that the medical board, they just feel like they've got to be seen to do something, you know, that they can't just say, oh yeah, it was fine. But they've literally, what's he got to do? 8 hours of training in topics, including professional and ethics, professional communication, privacy and confidentiality in social media. And he must be monitored by another doctor mentored by another doctor for 5 hours a month for a period of 1 year. Well, you know what's going to happen there. He's going to go and see that doctor, whoever it is, and they'll probably go for nice lunch or something and chat about Erin Patterson. Depend. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, he doesn't need mentoring, does he, by a doctor? I mean, he's an experienced doctor. That just seems to be ridiculous, to be honest. But that's what he finds the most difficult, because it means he has to take a day off every week to travel to Melbourne, and he has less time with patients. They said ultimately the community is getting punished as well, and that's disappointing. There's never been any question about my competency and skills as a doctor. It's all about my attitude and presentation. And maybe in this modern world, that kind of thinking might be a bit archaic. Yeah, I'm torn with that because, I do think sometimes standards have slipped, haven't they? Like with politicians and things, they just say whatever they want. There's no gravitas. I sort of do hark back to the times when politicians who was still irritating even then, but at least, they wouldn't come out with the things that politicians come out with these days. Well, it's a debate, isn't it? Time moves on. Things change, new generations coming up have different expectations. Is it in my mum and dad's generation, doctors were gods, never to be challenged about anything. What if the doctor told you it? You did it, and that's how doctors like Harold Shipman were able to get away with what he got away with, killing all those people, because people trusted him implicitly. I do think people are more questioning now, and that's not a bad thing, is it? Not all doctors are perfect. Not all nurses are perfect. Not all anything are perfect. They're all human beings. So anyway, interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just like, it's like a slap on the wrist, do you think? Yeah. To tick the boxes, keep everyone happy. Yeah. Yeah. So, right. So we're going to have a little break now, because we're going to be talking, well, I say a little break, very little break. We're going to be talking, that's all I've got to say really about Erin. Well, it's not about Erin, about the doctor. We just have another little look at him. I personally, if he was my doctor, I'd be very happy. He seems like an intuitive guy. He had us sussed from day one. As when you work with people a lot like that, you do get intuitive about people, don't you? So just as a little break, a little commercial break for me, I'm going to put on the videos about my books. Sorry to those of you who've already seen it, but just give me a little break. I'm also going to buy myself a Ko-fi, I think. I'm going to try and buy myself a Ko-fi because Annie was saying earlier that the Ko-fi wasn't working. So I'm just going to check that out. So I'll see you in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to just put a word from our sponsors, which of course is me. I am the sponsor. Let's put this book on first. Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Did you ever want to know a little bit more about me and my background, how I came to become interested in true crime, how I ended up in Spain being a Spanish teacher? If you want to know a little bit about me, a little bit more about me as a person, you can find my book, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, on any Amazon site, wherever you live in the world. And I believe that everyone has a story to tell, and this is my story. So it's the story of how I grew up in Manchester in the UK, on a council estate, and very humble beginnings, and my journey through personal tragedies, disastrous romances, and triumphs to become a single mum, a Spanish teacher, and an interpreter living in Spain, and eventually a YouTuber. reporting on true crime. So it details my various experiences with people and places over 20 years of teaching, over 20 years now. Ooh, where did that go? Of teaching Spanish and interpreting through the backdrop of the recession, financial uncertainty, severe flooding, and living through COVID. I hope you will find it funny, sad, amazing, silly, serious, and stranger than fiction at times. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to make you angry at least once. I hope to make you cry at least twice, and I hope to make you laugh many, many times. So thank you for all your support on my YouTube channel, and if you want to know a little bit more about me as a person, then you can find out there. So thank you so much. See you very soon in the next video. And as always, till then, may your God go with you. Bye. Hola, soy Vicky. And are you wanting to learn Spanish? Have you been trying to learn Spanish and it's just you can't put the words together? Common thing that people say to me is I know a lot of words, but I just can't put a sentence together. So I'm here to tell you how you can learn Spanish through English. Learn how to make sentences, not phrasebook Spanish. Learn how to ask questions, answer questions. Right from beginner or whatever level you are, if you're struggling in putting it all together, there'll be a level I can offer you a solution. So I've been teaching Spanish for over 20 years to English-speaking people. And these are the books that I have written. Break the Language Barrier Level 1 for beginners. Level 2 for intermediate or sort of pre-intermediate. Level 3 intermediate. Level 4 upper intermediate. And level 5 for advanced. There's really level 5 is to practice what you've already learned. So if you've already learned a lot of Spanish, but you want some practice with translations, conversation practice, games, etc., level 5 is for you. If you know more than level 1, in other words, you know how to already speak in the present tense, if your grammar has gone past the present tense but you're struggling with the past tenses, level 2 is the book for you. All these books are available on Amazon. Any Amazon, wherever you are in the world that you want to learn Spanish, you can order one of my books from Amazon. The other thing you can do, you may be interested in Zoom classes. I've left my contact details here on the video so that you can WhatsApp me or email me if you want to know about Zoom classes and how they work. Or another way you can learn is, along with the book, have recorded classes to learn. So although we're not sort of face-to-face as we would be on a Zoom class, you can still ask me questions. You can watch the class, on the video, watch the class which goes with the book. All the books have everything is, the classes, I can either teach you face-to-face like we're talking now in Zoom classes, or if either your budget doesn't run that far, or you have... Okay, I'm back. So I tried to, do you know what I mean? Nothing of it. I tried to buy myself a Ko-fi, but it won't let me because it just keeps saying to me, oh, you're trying to go into the account of the seller. It's telling me use a different account because this is the seller's account, so I can't buy myself a coffee. So there you go. Good job I've got coffee then, isn't it, here, because I can't buy myself one. Anyway, never mind. So now we're going to talk about Celeste, and as I was saying earlier, I think this is going to turn out to be it already is such a very, very sad story, isn't it? Because this 13-year-old girl. Now, Celeste will not be the first 13-year-old girl that has been seduced, groomed, you know, by an older man, especially. My hair's falling out. Especially groomed by someone like David, because he is, you know, he's a singer, he's famous, and that's easy to turn a young girl's eye, isn't it? You know, just so easy. There, he's in his 20s. She's 13 when she went missing. God knows how old she was when he started grooming her or started the relationship with her. She won't be the first. She won't be the last. Young girls, young people in general, girls, boys, impressed by people that are singers, rappers, wealth. You know, he's a pseudo intellectual to me. We're going to have a look at an interview of his. You know, he talks as if he's so clever, you know, and that would impress a 13-year-old girl. He won't choose women of his own age, because older women, well, say older, I mean, he's not that old. He's only, I think he's in his late 20s. But even girls in their late 20s, they won't be impressed by his rubbish. You know, he's obsessed with anime. He's obsessed with, he just sits, you know, he's just playing his PlayStation or whatever all the time. He's obsessed with video games. You know, grown women won't be so interested in someone like that, will they? You know, can you imagine if you were out with someone, you know, oh, what's your hobbies? Oh, well, I like anime and video games. You know, for a grown woman, that's not very attractive, is it? But for a 13-year-old girl, maybe that is quite attractive, because she's probably into PlayStation games and stuff like that. You know, and depending on the way you look at it, I suppose he's a reasonably good-looking guy, though he just looks sinister to me, to be honest. I don't look at him and think, oh, he's handsome. I just think, oh, I don't know. But maybe that's because of what I know now about him. Maybe if I didn't know that he was sinister. But he's got that sinister look about him. I hate all this gang rubbish, you know, like look at him. Oh, no, sorry. But again, young girls will be impressed by that. Much more than older women will be. So, of course, that's what these groomers rely on, isn't it? You know, look at Stephen Stearns. He's similar. He sort of groomed Madeline Soto for so long, and he was buying her Tamagotchis and all the things that she was interested in. You know, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. So poor Celeste, she didn't stand a chance, did she? You know, she... they say she was a troubled teen. Most teens are troubled, aren't they? Not many teens that aren't troubled, really. You know, she was probably arguing with her parents. He's probably offered her financial things, presents. She'd be very impressed by him. She would be easy to control. So anyway, what's happened, of course, is she then disappeared. It's not clear how long exactly she's been missing for. But she was recently found in the front of a Tesla. Her body was found, and this girl is deceased. So she didn't put herself in that frunk, in that Tesla, did she? So somebody put her there. The Tesla was registered to him, but he was just carrying on his life like nothing was going on. He was doing his tour. You know, just carrying on, releasing albums. He released an album on the day of her birthday. He released an album which contained this song, which I looked at in another video. It's called Romantic Homicide, and people think this song is about Celeste, possibly. You know, so what does he say? I'm scared. It feels like you don't care. I might have to look at it a bit closer up in my file, because I can't see it very well on there. Oh, unless I put my glasses on. Let me just see if where are my glasses? Mis gafas. That's glasses in Spanish. Yeah, I'm scared. It feels like you don't care. Enlighten me, my dear. Why am I still here? I don't mean to be complacent with the decisions you made, but why? In the back of my mind, you died. and I don't even cry, not a single tear. And I'm sick of waiting patiently for someone that won't even arrive. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, that it's true. Do I love you? No, I hate you. In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry, not a single tear. I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true. So this was a song that's on the album that he released on Celeste's birthday. I think it was the 7th of September. So it's creepy, isn't it? It's creepy. Now, he hasn't been charged with anything yet. I want to say that. I mean, it could be that it's got nothing to do with Celeste's death. It could be somebody else who had access to his car. But his car was just left parked, wasn't it? And it was towed. And it was in the impound that people noticed the smell coming off it. And that's how poor Celeste was found. So she's got a little cross on there. You know, it's a shame, isn't it? Because couldn't protect her from this man who is like a Satan. If he has done something to this girl, he is like a devil, isn't he? You know, to groom a young girl like that and then to kill her. Now, of course, what's the motive for killing her? You know, sometimes, of course, you don't even need... Oh, it's not working, Annie. Yeah, I couldn't. I'll have a look at it later. I have no idea why it wouldn't be working. I don't even know how to check it. If it won't let me, you know, buy myself a coffee, I don't know how I can check it. Let's see. I'll put the link in here. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I go in there, Annie, and see that you've bought 50 coffees, that should be the link. Sorry, I'm getting... Hi, Celia. That should be the link, and I've put it in chat, but I don't know how you go to it. Anyway, never mind. So, yeah, poor girl. So what would be his motive now? As I say, whizzing around media and in some news items. So this news item we're going to look at, first of all, this is the Economic Times, of all things, but it's in lots of media. Celeste Rivas was pregnant when her decomposed body was found in David's Tesla. The internet is abuzz with rumours. So I just want to make it clear now, law enforcement has not confirmed this at all. These are literally rumours, but it's, you know, quite often rumours do come from truth, you know, a leak or something. Now, but I just want to say that. So I'm not saying that this is true. I'm telling you what the rumours that are flying around are, but from sources that aren't bad sources. Do you know what I mean? So what we do know is that they've raided his home. So it says singer David is embroiled in controversy following the discovery of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez's body in his Tesla. Now, so she would be 15 now. She was 13 when she was reported missing. She's just had a birthday. She must have had 2 birthdays while she's been missing, bless her. So, yeah, literally 13 years old. Just a child. The vehicle was found in a Hollywood Hills impound lot. Unverified rumours of infant remains found near David's residence and Celeste's alleged pregnancy have surfaced online. So rumours of infant remains. So again, has not been confirmed yet by law enforcement. So we have to just take it at face value. We don't know that it's true. But it is not only circulating on social media, but also around various news stations. So police have raided David's home, seizing evidence. So we don't know where David is at the moment. Is he still in police custody? We know his tour's been cancelled. We know that sponsors have dropped him, but we don't know anymore. So as the case digs deeper, shocking details continue to emerge about Celeste Rivas, whose highly decomposed body was found in the abandoned Tesla linked to the singer. As the police continue their investigation into the missing teen's death and the singer's potential involvement, new but unverified claims have emerged online, suggesting the discovery of additional human remains. Child's remains found near David's home. Now, as I say, just remember this could be completely unfounded. Social media is abuzz with bizarre theories that remains of an infant were found near the artist's Hollywood Hills residence. Though unconfirmed, these rumours have spread like wildfire on the internet, as they do, adding fuel to the mysterious case. And the claim was made in a widely shared post that read, infant remains were discovered near David's residence. They confirmed Celeste was pregnant. Truth is slowly coming to light as they continue to investigate. Well, we've not had a press conference. We've had nothing actually from the law enforcement, have we? And that's the problem, isn't it? When there's no news whatsoever from law enforcement in a case like this, which is a big case, a young girl's remains found in a Tesla, and he's a famous singer, that is going to attract attention on all media. But the problem is the law enforcement, sometimes you think even if they did a press conference just to say they weren't saying anything at the moment, because everyone's clamoring around this now. People want something to say about this case. And unfortunately, as we've seen, if there's nothing to say, about it, people make it up, don't they? Oh, bless. Bluebell, thank you. So it must be you, Annie. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I mean, that's just the way it is. But thank you, Bluebell. I don't want you're thinking that I'm just trying to get you to send me a Ko-fi just to try it. I'm not. It's just the surprise that it's not working. So at least we know it's working. Thank you, Bluebell. That's so kind. Thank you. Just wait for that to go off. So, yeah, because there is no news, people make up their own news, don't they? But it could be sometimes, things leak out. Who knows how this has leaked out? And sometimes in the end it results that it is true. But as long as law enforcement don't say anything, this won't be the only thing that will leak out, is it? So some social media posts have even claimed that Celeste Rivas was pregnant at the time of her death. Some social media pages suggest the alleged discovery confirmed her pregnancy. So these rumours have spread widely across X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok, leading to new heated conversations. But no law enforcement agency has verified these claims, and officials have not released any information similar to this. So for now, the speculation remains just that, some unverified online chatter with no official confirmation. So then the rumours have reignited following earlier discussions in Discord chats, where David allegedly referenced a kid on the way while tagging a now deleted user, according to TOI, whoever that is. Screenshots of the conversation recently resurfaced online, fueling speculation about Rivas's purported pregnancy. But it's important to note that neither the post nor the claims have been verified by official sources, and police are yet to confirm any detail. So that he has not been named as a suspect, but they raided his home. He apparently has terminated his lease on that house. Poor Celeste, her body has been released to her family, has been released now, so the forensics must have done whatever they needed to do with her body. And the raid on his crash pad comes as connections between the pop star and the dead teen keep piling up. Well, they were definitely connected because there's photos. There's lots of photos of them there, of them together. So they definitely know each other. They definitely are connected one way or another because of there's photos, there's videos of the two of them together. So I think we can safely say, in fact, I'll show you a photo. Let me have a look. I downloaded a couple of photos of the two of them together. So we definitely knew her. And she was telling everybody she had a boyfriend called David. It's horrible, isn't it, to think that she's telling people she's got a boyfriend called David. She's 13 years old, telling people that she's got a grown man as a boyfriend. It knocks me sick. Because the thing is, for her, she's the minor. He's the one with the responsibility not to look for a 13-year-old girl. Do you know what I mean? And horrible man, whatever. So he's a PDF, whatever. If it wasn't him who killed her, he shouldn't have been going out with her, should he? So the body of Celeste was found September the 8th, the day after her 15th birthday. So yeah, September the 8th, the day after her birthday. So he released his album on the 7th, on the day of her birthday. And staff at the Hollywood tow lot where the Tesla was brought called the cops after noticing a putrid smell from the car. Amid a flurry of shocking allegations surfacing online, the singer's controversial track, Romantic Homicide, has reignited intense debate across social media. Netizens also unearthed old photos of the victim Celeste with David, fueling speculation. Police records reveal that Celeste was reported missing at just 13 years old, and in a statement to authorities, her mother mentioned that Celeste had a boyfriend called David. And this revelation has cast a glaring spotlight on David, as Celeste was reportedly seen in his home and appeared in multiple videos. The exact nature of their relationship remains unclear, leaving social media divided. Some users express outrage, while others demand swift action against the singer. And according to the Los Angeles Times, authorities discovered a severely decomposed body in the trunk of a car registered to David while he was on tour, and the remains were later confirmed to be Celeste, although the cause of death has been deferred due to the condition of the body. They have released Celeste's body now, so maybe they couldn't tell her cause of death, which is very sad. The investigation into her death is ongoing, with police recently seen conducting a sweep of David's apartment. So I think what we do know for sure is they have raided his apartment. I think we do know that for sure. But what we don't, but these reports of infants and Celeste being pregnant, they are unconfirmed reports. So I just want to let you know about it, but know that it is... I think I said hello to Celia. Hi again, Celia, if I didn't. Hi, David. It's ongoing investigation, isn't it? So let's have a look at this. So this was something that I found on X. Oh, God, where's it gone? There it is. So, of course, it's been talked about a lot on X. So, TMZ, which is a news thing, has reported new details in the David case, revealing that the Hollywood Hills rental home where the singer was living is equipped with extensive external security system. So, meaning it's virtually impossible to enter or exit without being recorded. So this is going to be like Stefan Stearns, isn't it? You know, thicko. He's another thicko. So you, if he did take Celeste from that property or whatever, then he will have been recorded. Because now what this person says on X, this is an account I follow. They're a very interesting account. You know, they talk about crime, and as you know, I'm interested in crime, so that's why I follow them. But this detail is especially significant because investigators have been probing whether she may have been killed inside the residence. So it says police searched the property for traces of blood, but we don't know if they found any or not yet. So, apparently detectives are also canvassing the surrounding area for surveillance footage that could reveal who last drove the vehicle. So, yeah, all that will be going on. They'll be looking to see when the vehicle was last driven, who parked it in that place, you know, where it was towed away from, who parked it there, you know, those kind of things. And it may well be that not only this twonk, but maybe some of his people knew about it. It's quite horrible to think. So it's just showing you the security cameras. So they'll be going through that. I mean, you know, these things, they don't happen overnight, do they? That take a lot of looking at. Now, the interview that I want to show you was also on this, I think. Let's see. So, was he aware of her age as well? So apparently, according to this person, David has restricted comments on both his Instagram and TikTok posts. His last message was the announcement of his upcoming album release date, which was shared on his Instagram channel on September the 7th, which also happened to be Celeste's birthday, and notably one day before she was found. Yep. Now, she had an interview on here. So he's broken his lease on his home, so he's not going back there apparently. Where's the... so this is the... What's that she's saying about? Yeah, no news yet on Emmanuel Harrow. So this was this sort of weird... I mean, it's really weird. So that song, these are things that he's put on his Instagram, etc. You know, the shirt with all the blood on it and everything. I mean, could that really be a coincidence? So, back in March, David told Mahogany, whoever that is, that his hit Romantic Homicide, and we're going to watch the video where he says it, was inspired by an idea that he had. A detective forced to solve murders committed by his dark alter ego, Itami, a name that means pain in Japanese, you know, because he's obsessed with bloody anime and that. So he described Itami as an agent of chaos. He explained that the video was his way of giving life to his alter ego on screen. Well, you know, it all sounds a bit sketchy, doesn't it? Me and Itami had a great time just chopping it up and merging creative ideas on the entire thing. And in the interview, David revealed he'd even started writing his own anime about the character, a detective haunted by an evil double who randomly appears and commits violent crimes. But now these comments are being closely examined after police said they found the decomposed, dismembered body of missing teen Celeste Rivas in the trunk of his Tesla. Sorry, the frunk. In another music video, Rehab, released on Celeste's 13th birthday, his alter ego cuts the arm off a petite brunette cartoon girl after he sings "White rose petals, broken hearts, and bloody sandals, bodies stacked on top of another." So it doesn't sound very good, does it? I mean, who writes songs like that? You know, what's wrong with them? Since the investigation began, David has cancelled his tour. His label also pulled promotion for his new album, but Romantic Homicide just re-entered the Billboard 2000, and he hit his biggest day ever on Spotify with 12 million streams. Well, of course, everyone will be trying to listen to the song now, you know, because of the circumstances. I hope he doesn't get to profit from it. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is, what is that about? You know, literally, what is that about? Crikey, you know. So he's put this picture. He's got a blindfold on. He's got blood all over his shirt and blood on his hands. Oh, to me, it's like this pseudo-intellectual. When we listen to him talking in a minute, you know, you'd listen to it and I'd listen to it and think, what an idiot, you know, like, what load of crap, to be honest, that he's talking. But to a young girl, a 13-year-old girl, he's like, you know, there he is, he's all sort of like, I suppose, you know, a young girl might find him attractive. I don't find him attractive in the slightest. But, you know, to a young girl, and he's a famous singer and he probably had money, you know, certainly would have more money than she had, even if he didn't have loads of money. She'd be impressed, and then he's talking like intellectually like that, and she'd be like, oh, David, you know, but somebody older and wiser would be just like, oh my God, what a narcissist. What? You know, these are the sort of pictures that he had on his social media. It's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good for David. I mean, you know, somebody has murdered Celeste. She didn't put herself in that front, so somebody murdered her, that poor girl, and she was missing for all that time. So when you look at these pictures, you think, I wonder who it was that murdered her. I wonder. You know, this guy is a Fruit Loop.
And I had the idea.
So we're going to listen to him talking now. Just, honest to God, I'll just tell you now, you'll get angry probably. To me, he's just like, so he probably smokes too much weed. He thinks he's really intelligent. Comes out with all these ideas about his art and his this, that and the other. In the meantime, he's grooming 13-year-old girls. And who knows what happened in the end. Maybe she was going to tell on him. Maybe she was pregnant. We've got all that. We've got to find all that out as time goes on. But to me, when I listen to this man talk, and you'll tell me what you think. Some of you might think he's great, you know, that everybody's entitled to their opinion. But just to me, see, he sounds like someone who thinks he's a lot more intelligent than he actually is. But and he would impress a 13-year-old girl, but he wouldn't impress a woman.
And I had the idea to kind of make this first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga, and I wanted to make my own manga series.
Big into what? Mongo, did he say? I don't even know. Does anybody know what Mongo is? This would be one of these daft things that people like him, like, is it Mongo? Did he say? Can't find anything under Mongo. What the hell did he say? Did anyone catch what he said? Like, he said he's big into anime. You know, it's like, oh, you know, and all the ideation of this, that I'm so intelligent, so clever, and so creative. You know, but I also like 13-year-old girls. But, you know, anyway, that's by the by. It's all art. It's all part of creativity. What is Mongo? Somebody tell me what Mongo is, or whatever.
That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga, and I wanted
I'm really big into manga, it sounded like. Anyway, I can't find anything under. If anybody knows what Mongo is, let me know.
to make my own manga series at one point, and I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent.
So this character, the name that he gave for it, means pain in Japanese.
And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like.
Yeah. So did Celeste get to see this evil version of him that comes out at random moments, probably when he's been taking substances or drinking or doing whatever? Sounds like Celeste got to see this person. So sad. You know, just that's how vulnerable young people are, you know. Well, I'd like to say to you, you know, you have to teach your young people not to be taken in by people like this, but it's difficult because they rebel, don't they? Sometimes, you know, I just remember with my son, the friends that you knew weren't good friends really of theirs. But the more you try and tell them, the more you try and tell them about it, the more they sort of rebel against you, don't you? You know, I did it when I was a kid, really, when I can think about it. When I think about, you know, your parents tell you, oh, don't hang around with them, you know, they're bad influence. And as soon as you get a chance, you're off around their house, knocking on the door, you know. This is just how young people are, isn't it? Sorry, I've just got to send a message. It's important. Sorry about that. Just drama, real life drama. Well, this is real life drama, but I mean my real life drama. Oh God, what did I do then? What did I do? Oh, see, I get distracted. I press the wrong button. That's me.
And I had the idea to kind of make this first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point, and I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent.
He's just never grown up, has he? He's never grown up. So, as I say, he's interested in young girls. Young girls are interested in him because they're into these kind of things. You know, when you get to nearly 30, how are you going to find a woman of 28, 30, or, you know, a little bit older who's into these things? You know, most people grow out of them, but people like him and Stefan Stearns, they never grow out of it, do they? So they have to find younger and younger people. He still thinks he is 13.
Agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think
I'd be solving murders that I was committing myself. It was a cool little story. See how he gets all animated about it. He's like a child, isn't he? He's like, you know, he hasn't grown out of those sort of things that you do when you're a child, or you know, we all have our. I always had an imagination, and you have your little, I don't know, fantasies. I suppose I don't mean sex fantasies. I mean, you know, like. But you grow out of him. He hasn't grown out of anything, has he? He's still doing it. And yeah, so he's talking about how I'd like this alter ego as a detective who's solving crimes that he's committed himself. Well, do you know what, David? Get out there and solve Celeste. Who killed Celeste? You get out there and solve it then. Nutter. He sounds, just he's one of those pseudo intelligentsia people. You know, he thinks he's clever and he will come over as clever to a 13-year-old girl, but no adult is going to think he's clever.
anything will come of it. Like, it was in the vault for like months and months and months, and I introduced it for the first time on screen because I had the opportunity with music to kind of explore this idea further with the romantic homicide music video. And people were asking so many questions. I was like, yo, this is kind of fire, because like nobody would have ever heard of it if it wasn't for this music video. But Itami was the staple of this music video.
Do you think that when he gave this interview, he had already killed Celeste? I'm not sure when this interview was made, but he mentioned the romantic homicide song. So had he already killed her and he, left her in the Tesla? Fancy just leaving her in the Tesla. As I say, we shouldn't jump the gun. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was one of his management or somebody he knew, or his brother or something. I don't know. But it seems funny to me. Seems a bit of a coincidence to me that, he's got this alter ego, this detective solving murders that he's done. And then there's a 13-year-old girl turns up dead in his trunk.
Oh, you kind of see him throughout the entire thing. He's holding the knife with the bloody thing. You get the girl who's basically like the ghost of the person that he killed. It was his first victim in the manga. And I put that all on screen, and me and Tommy had a great time just like chopping it up and getting to kind of merge creative ideas on the entire.
So he said, me and Itami, remember that Itami is not a real person. Itami is his alter ego. He said, me and Itami had a great time chopping it up. Now, he's not supposedly talking about chopping up Celeste. He's talking about chopping up the video. But it's funny choice of words, isn't it? Chopping it up. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into that. So him and Itami, who's not a real person, but is his alter ego who solves the murders that he commits, had a great time chopping it up. What a weirdo.
Everything. And the Bloody Rose aesthetic was birthed in that music video as well, and kind of me representing my entire artistry through this rose, which is like beautiful things can hurt you, with the stems having thorns on them, and that became
this beautiful rose, but they can hurt you because they've got stems on them, thorns on them. It was his artistry, you could imagine Celeste would be sat there and, other young girls, and he'd be talking all this rubbish and they'd be like, oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic. But really, he does sound like unhinged, doesn't he?
Became my entire aesthetic for like the rest of time. I kind of still, even to this day, use that Bloody Rose to kind of show how beautiful things can hurt you, even through music. Like, music is very beautiful, but it can also hurt you with the lyrics, or
Yeah, beautiful things can hurt you. Like, what, like Celeste, does he mean? It's really quite chilling, isn't it? It really is chilling to hear him talk like this.
Make you think about certain things in your own life that make you think about painful things and stuff like that. So, yeah, that music video was the focal point and the start and foundation of all the different songs and music videos and creative points and the creative direction for like my album now and all that stuff literally came from that one music video in Arizona. So shout out to Tommy Killjoy, because without that music video, none of that would have happened. And Tommy is seen through.
Right. I mean, there's obviously more to that interview. Let's just listen one more time. I'm not going to say anything this time. I'll just let you all comment if you want to, but I'm not going to interrupt it this time.
And I had the idea to kind of make this first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point, and I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Atami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like it was in the vault for like months and months and months. And I introduced it for the first time on screen because I had the opportunity with music to kind of explore this idea further with the Romantic Homicide music video. And people were asking so many questions. I was like, yo, this is kind of fire, because like nobody would have ever heard of it if it wasn't for this music video. But Atami was the staple of this music video. You kind of see him throughout the entire thing. He's holding the knife with the bloody thing. You get the girl who's basically like the ghost of the person that he killed. It was his first victim in the manga. And I put that all on screen, and me and Tommy had a great time just like chopping it up and getting to kind of merge creative ideas on the entire thing. And the Bloody Rose aesthetic was birthed in that music video as well, and kind of me representing my entire artistry through this rose, which is like beautiful things can hurt you, with the stems having thorns on them. And that became my entire aesthetic for like the rest of time. I kind of still, even to this day, use that bloody rose to kind of show how beautiful things can hurt you, even through music. Like music is very beautiful, but it can also hurt you with the lyrics, or, you know, make you think about certain things in your own life that make you think about painful things and stuff like that. So yeah, that music video was the focal point and the start and foundation of all the different songs and music videos and creative points and the creative direction for like my album now. And all that stuff literally came from that one music video in Arizona. So shout out to Tommy Killjoy, because without that music video, none of that would have happened. And Atami is seen through.
Wow. So did you hear what he said about that? I missed that the first time. What he said about the ghost of his first victim. I hope Celeste is haunting him. I hope he sees her. Well, if he killed her, of course, I have to say allegedly all the time. But, you know, it's not looking good, is it, for David? I mean, he's a psycho by the sound of it. Yeah, talked about the ghost of it. I hope Celeste, sees her face every night. Ugh, I just hope she is haunting him. So the thing is, he's just, you know, he'd got famous, this guy. He was on the brink of, you know, big success, European tour. He was, I don't think he had a date in Spain, but when I've been researching that, came up about buying tickets for his Paris show or whatever. So, you know, he was on the verge of big things. So is it because Celeste got pregnant that she was going to ruin all these big things? Because if it got out that he was seeing a 13-year-old girl and that she was pregnant, I mean, that'd be the end of his career, wouldn't it? Well, I feel like his career is probably over anyway now, but gosh, there's so much more to come out, isn't there, in this case? And the police are doing their investigations, and of course, you know, it's not their responsibility to inform the public. Only the family need to know what's going on. Having said that, this is just my advice that I would give them, just from looking at cases. And you know what the media, not only social media, is like. If they haven't got any answers do get get filled in. That's how conspiracy theories start. So one thing I would hope that as soon as possible, that the law enforcement, maybe when he's actually charged, if he gets charged, will tell us something as soon as possible. And I still believe that it's always a good idea to do a press conference, even if it's just to say, look, the investigation's ongoing. We can't say much at this time, or just confirm the facts, like about it was Celeste who was found. She was 13 when she was reported missing. You can confirm the facts in a press conference, and you can at least say something, because if you give the media something to talk about, if you give them nothing to talk about, they will make it up. I mean, unfortunately, that's what happens. So, that is the way it is, because people will be interested in this case. We've got 13-year-old girl, we've got famous singer, very strange circumstances of being found in the car, etc. So it's got all the ingredients that will make a case that people want to talk about. And people care about Celeste as well. We mustn't forget that. People will be outraged that a 13-year-old girl will have been used in this way and come to that end. Most people can relate if they haven't got children that age themselves, or grandchildren, or nieces and nephews, or you've been that age yourself. I mean, everybody will be able to relate to Celeste and how she, found herself impressed by a man older than her, groomed. It's almost like a story as old as time, isn't it, really? So anyway, I'm going to go now, but of course, if I get any updates on this case, I will let you know. I want to thank Bluebell for the Ko-fi, and Annie for trying some Ko-fi. Thank you. What else did I want to say? Hopefully we'll find out more soon. Hopefully somebody will be charged soon. But I think just his demeanour and the way he spoke, it doesn't look good for David, does it? So let me put my banner on again to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like this video. That's a free way you can help my channel. And subscribe, of course. If you're not already subscribed, why not? So please like, please subscribe and share. And I will see you really soon in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you especially for caring about this young girl. Because you know what? She had the rest of her life in front of her. 13 years old. 13 years old. And unfortunately, as I say, not the first, not the last girl to be impressed by twonk like this. And one where, listen, whether it was him who did it or not, it's her association with him that has led to her death, because she was in his car. So one way or another, he had something to do with it, even if he didn't actually do it himself. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Until then, may your God go with you. Thank you. Bye.